Now, if you venture into the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History, you will find a section dedicated to Dr. King. In that section, you will also see the impact of the late Reverend Dr. Nicholas Hood Sr. He was instrumental in the civil rights movement right here in Detroit, and his son, Reverend Nicholas Hood III, who was only 12 years old when Dr. King spoke in Detroit, is keeping the torch burning. If the walls of this historic Plymouth United Church of Christ could speak, what a story they would tell. Built on the grounds of what used to be called Black Bottom, Reverend Dr. Nicholas Hood III had a front row seat to the fight for civil rights in Detroit. He was only 12 years old when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke in Detroit in 1963. What do you remember about that day?
I remember the march, but I also remember the lead up to the march. My dad was one of the organizers of the march with C.L. Franklin. There were very few African-American pastors who supported the organizing of the march.
As a boy, preparation for the Freedom March in Detroit is seared in his memory.
I'm here.
Reverend Hood's dad, Reverend Nicholas Hood Sr., was a civil rights activist and had taken part in many marches, including in the South.
He was used to violence. So in the lead up to the March on Detroit, but at our church, the children, we were trained in how to get in on the ground into a fetal position with our hands over our heads if we were attacked.
Civil rights activist and minister Andrew Young, who was often at Dr. King's side, was ordained by Reverend Hood Sr., who was fearful of marches in the South.
Andrew Young was beaten unconscious in the St. Augustine, Florida march. And after that, he came to Detroit.
Fortunately, in Detroit, there was no violence 60 years ago.
We're walking down Woodward Avenue to Jefferson, arm in arm, hand in hand. We're singing the songs of the civil rights movement.
Reverend Hood, who took the helm of this church from his dad, had big shoes to fill. What do they remember most in terms of his impact on civil rights, especially here in Detroit?
He's had a tremendous impact. I'm so glad before he died, I would, go to lunch with him, different places, and almost without fail, we'd run into somebody who was a firefighter or a police officer, and they would just thank my dad profusely. They said, "You made it possible for me to get hired."
It's been 60 years. Have we come far enough?
No, the answer is there's still farther to go. But one of the things that really has encouraged me was with the death of George Floyd, the way young white people just joined in and started saying Black Lives Matter.
But when he thinks of his legacy and that of Dr. King's, his message is simple.
People have to be engaged. They have to be involved. And it is not enough to sit by silently.
At the age of 71, Reverend Hood says there will never be another Dr. King, but it's important to celebrate the March for Freedom in Detroit because he says it will take young people of all races and ethnicities to create change and make our society better, and I certainly agree with that. We're all going to have to do it together, and young people especially.
And we got to keep remembering, and that's why we're going to be marching this weekend.
Yes.
And it seems like it was so long ago, but yet it really wasn't.
Not that long ago, right? 60 years, right? And we're still fighting for so many things. We'll have live coverage of the NAACP's celebration of the 60th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Freedom Walk in Detroit. Our special June Jubilee, a celebration of freedom, begins tomorrow at 10 a.m. right here on 7. We'll certainly be there.
We will.